Welcome back to Dwayne and Nadia's Food, Travel, and Fun. And I'm Dwayne, and I'm cooking again, back in the kitchen. Nadia's here with me, but she's hiding, so we're not going to mention her. So today, I'm making a dish that goes back to, I guess, when American soldiers were in Korea, and they put together something that ultimately became called Army Stew. Army Stew, they used the things that they had. They had hot dogs. They had gochujang somehow. I don't know, I guess that's interesting. They had mushrooms, some bok choy, kimchi, lots of things. So they had beans, Franken beans. That's a big Army guy stuff right there. So anyways, I'm mixing in some ramen, mixing all these ingredients together. I'm gonna do a bunch of chopping and prepping and cooking, and I'm gonna get it all into this. It's a one-pan meal. It's very simple, but it takes an assortment of things that maybe not the average person has, but hopefully you'll get after watching this video, because it looks really good to me, and we're gonna make it up, and Nadia's gonna try it right along with me. This is gonna be good. So I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna start dicing things up and chopping things up, getting it down to size, so we can get this meal coming together for you. And I'd love to just throw a little mention out there that this idea, the way we're doing it today, comes from a wonderful vlogger out there in food and chef, and Marion's Kitchen. She put this together in a way that we thought really looked so good that we had to try it. So here we are. All right, thanks Marion, thanks Korea, Army guys. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm gonna show you quickly how we make the paste that's gonna go into the center of this pot. And I'm gonna start. You can mince a couple cloves of garlic, fresh garlic if you like, or you can do what I just did and use some of that mince that we love. This is our gochujang. And I'm gonna use a nice amount of gochujang in here. A couple tablespoons. I'm basically finishing off my nice hot paste that I've got. So that's gonna really leave me a little depressed, because I'm not gonna have any more after this. So Nita's gonna have to run out and get me some more of this, because it's great stuff. We have, this, I wrote it down, it's called Taekyung red pepper. It is a Korean red chili pepper, and a little different than what we have. It's not like our crushed red pepper at all. I've been trying it out and using it in different recipes, and it's very nice. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, sugar, I'm sorry. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon or so of the sugar. And we've got some rice vinegar and some soy, which are gonna be the final ingredients to making this up. Add in my rice vinegar. Nice little amount of soy. And let me see how this all mixes up into the paste I'm trying to give to you guys. Or to us, actually, for this meal. Making a nice little paste there. I see all that garlic floating around inside, and I can smell it. This really has a nice, fragrant smell that comes off of, I mean, essentially there's a lot of pepper in here, and it just smells wonderful though. But there we go, got a nice consistency, a good little paste. This is gonna go right into the center of the pot when I get it cooking, and I'll show you that in a minute. All right, so I'm back, and we're gonna focus on the pan so you can really see how we're building it and putting everything together. And it's really a simple process, where I'm just gonna bring each ingredient and let it go into its own space. I'm gonna put it in really tight, and these are our little hot dogs that we're putting over there. And next to those, it's Spam. This is not for, the real hardcore foodies probably gonna be like, what are you doing? But I always say, don't knock it till you try it. So there you go. We're gonna put it together, and then we're gonna try it. This is some tofu that we've cubed up into little chunks. Keep adding that into the pan as well. I like to keep everything fairly tight, because I gotta put a lot of stuff in here. Next I'll work on the mushroom section. This is a special mushroom that I like. It is This is, it's actually just called fungi, but it was from the Asian market. And this is my wood ear mushroom. These are wood ear, which we also got. We actually get both of these dehydrated and we reconstitute them. And I found some very nice little oyster mushrooms, which I'm gonna put into that same little area over here. So I'm trying to leave the middle open a bit, but it's a little hard to do in the pan because that's where I'm gonna put that sauce when I'm done. So next, I'm gonna put the beans near the hot dogs. And they're still kind of running where they want to go, but that's what beans do. And I've got some bok choy, which I like a lot of. And in the original recipe, they didn't put onion, but I'm just such a big fan of onion, I have to put some in mine. And I've kind of run out of room, but that's okay. I've got my kimchi, and I'm gonna fit a bunch of kimchi right over here, which is a fermented cabbage and spice. It's Napa cabbage, it's very spicy, it's very good. And we use it in a lot of our meals. I've broken up 3 of these little ramen packets. I'm just gonna kind of get them in here. We didn't break them too small, we just kind of broke them up. And we're gonna fill in spaces. And as you can see, our pot has ended up quite full. And I'm not worried about the little bits there or that. And finally, I've got, she wanted the little bits, they're going in. We're adding them. And your cover for the kimchi's over here. And in this middle of the pot comes that beautiful sauce that we put together with the gochujang and the chili, the little chili flakes and some soy and rice vinegar. I can really smell that. And it's got a nice smell to it. And now we put a couple eggs in. So let me just add an egg over here. And one more right on the opposite side. Okay, so this is now all set for me to start adding broth. So I'm gonna add about a quart broth to this mix. And I'm just gonna go right around. This one was open, so I'm gonna use it up and add some more in a minute. But let's see how well this fills this container. Notice I'm trying to not break apart that paste in the middle. I really wanna be able to have it be a bit separate for anybody. If someone doesn't really want to take a lot of paste, they don't take a lot of paste. They can work around the edges. So that's essentially what I'm doing with this broth, is working around the edges. And we did use a chicken broth for this. So I'm going to assume you could probably get away with beef broth, but we had chicken broth and that's what we used. So there's a quart in there now. So this pan is nice and full. And I'm going to turn this thing on. I'm going to turn it up pretty well. And I'm going to cover it. And I'm going to add scallions towards the end. I'm going to let this kind of come up and heat. I'm going to cook the scallions slightly, the green onions here. I don't want to cook them till they're just soft and mushy. So I'm going to let this come up a bit. And I also am going to put some American cheese over the top. But for now, I'm gonna let this warm up and get going, and then we'll finish it off in a little bit and show you what we get. All right, everyone, so I'm back again, and I'm gonna show you our progress here. It is cooking away now, as you can see from all the steam. And I'll bring the camera in to get you a nice little close-up. I wanna show you everything. You can see all the little parts of it. And at this point, as it's really made a lot of progress, I'm going to add in the scallions. Put them over the top. And apparently, processed cheese was part of this. So,
part of the army rations.
part of the rations. So in it goes. And then we're gonna lower this and let this cook a little bit further. And I'll give you a quick peek with a nice close-up and take a look at it in a minute. There you go. So as you can see, it's cooking along very nicely there. Everything, she's bubbling really well. It looks like there's plenty of broth. The spicy gochujang sauce is hiding in the middle underneath all the cheese. There's a couple eggs in there as well. Gonna let this go for a few minutes longer and then we'll try it out. All right, everyone. So as you can see, you can put together quite a different bowl for yourself. Me, I love that fungus. I love that mushroom, and I love my wood ears and whatnot. And she loves her cheese and her eggs and some Spam. So yeah, we made them up a bit different. And even in here in the pan, you can still see there's still quite of an assortment and a lot left too. So it makes a good amount. It's a very nice dinner. And we're gonna try it out right now, and I absolutely know this is gonna be awesome. So, but that's Dwayne and Nidia, Food Travel Fun. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching us make this awesome meal from, I don't know, whatever we had in the kitchen, and apparently whatever the Army guys had too. So thanks for joining us. See you next time. Remember, subscribe, like, tell your friends, and click the bell. See you down. Hey everybody, this is a little post trying it out, and Nidia felt it was spicy, and it is. It's definitely not I mean, it's just got so many flavors. It was very savory, a bit spicy, not too much for me, maybe a little for her. She toned hers down with some sour cream. Me, I'm eating it as is and just loving it. So just thought the flavors are great. What a blend. I mean, every bite you can make like a different bite every step of the way by just adding different things to that bite. So just wanted to share that and kind of add that as a close.
Some of that paste in the middle.
Yeah, if you're not as heat tolerant, cut down on the paste in the middle. You can make up the batch and just maybe put half of it in. So depends on what you like. Excuse me, I was very careful to not give her from that pile, whereas I took it directly from the pile. Like I said, for me, it was fine. For her, still a little warm, but now with your sour cream, we've toned it down a bit, and it's working. So thanks everyone. Later.